It's time for the 259 Show, a weekly podcast that can be found on our website at www.the259show.com or on Facebook and Twitter at the 259 Show. Today's hosts are Joe Peachy.
No, I haven't contacted Michelle because she'd be on the next flight to New York City. So.
Mike Vincelli.
Chelsea's not a girl. This is the name of a soccer club.
Hate you, Chelsea. Broke my heart.
Tyler Diedrich.
I wonder if they have waffles. Ha ha ha. They do.
And Andy Fowler.
Out of all of us here, I feel like I'm balding the most. I got a big spot up on top. And by growing it out, I feel like I'm trying to cover it.
Here's your host, Andy Fowler.
Well, welcome to another episode of the 259 Show, episode number 55, the Saturday, January 20th edition. We are coming to you live from the 259 Studios in Hilton, New York. Tyler Diedrich, no Mike Vincelli or Joe Peachy this week, but
2 out of 4 in our intro.
Yeah,
We're shooting 50%.
50%, which is a good average in baseball. And that's very fitting because our guest host this week is the one and only John Schwinn, coming back for his second guest hosting appearance. Hey, John, welcome.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
Good, how are you?
I am doing great. I'm excited to be here.
Thanks for coming in this week. Pretty late notice last night when we realized that this may not happen unless if we have a third person in here. Thank you for not making me talk to Tyler for an hour straight.
Two-man show would have been
Interesting.
There's no worries.
It would have been like our trip to North Carolina where you put on Man vs. Food on your portable DVD player, put your headphones in, and I drove for 12 hours.
Nah, we talked for a little bit. Talk about food.
For a little bit.
Whoops.
But, yeah, Joe and Mike calling it in, taking the week off, and John's here. And
Mike, again, we can only assume hot date. Hopefully with my sister.
Yeah, what was that?
I didn't say anything. And Joe busy molding the minds of young people in New York City.
Exactly.
Maybe he's working on his track coaching.
Oh.
Yeah, new track coach out there for his whatever school he is over
Watching
there.
some YouTube videos, maybe.
But, yeah, we big program ahead today. We got a lot of football talk. Last week was the NFL divisional playoff round.
Yeah, and nothing says mid-January like some baseball talk.
Exactly. So we're going to dive into some baseball, believe it or not, right around the corner. Little high school sports action to round off our sports talk. Some food talk, as always. Our power ranking this week, we pivoted because there is no Mike's not here, and it was his choice this week. So, Tyler, what's a new power ranking topic for this week?
Only fitting with John Schwinn here, we're going to do our top 5 favorite baseball players of all time.
Top 5 favorite baseball players of all time. John, you have an event coming up next week. We'll dive into that. It's the second annual Challenger Baseball fundraiser up at Salmon Creek.
Yep. So we got a little spring training going on, before they start their season in May, which will be a great year for all the organizations around here because the Miracle Field of Greater Rochester just opened this fall. So there's a lot of excitement there, and this will kind of be a little precursor to that, and we'll dive into that a little later.
Great, and that field that just opened is like a state-of-the-art complex, too, out there.
Yeah, so it's really neat. So the way they built it was, obviously it's all turf, it's all handicap accessible, so wheelchairs, gate trainers, everything can get on there. But they made it not only the dimensions of a baseball field, similar to, Miracle fields, but they also made it a football field, so they can play a lot of different activities. Right now, they're still trying to raise money for different facilities, whether that be restrooms, concession stands, things like that. So
sweet,
yeah.
We've also got coming up in this program a look back at something that happened. Can you believe it? 10 years ago.
Really,
yeah.
10 years.
10 years ago.
Look at that.
We'll get to that later in the program.
Well, we'll start at the top as we always do. How's morale? How are you guys doing? How's the past week?
I'm fine. I'm just worried about Joe and Mike. Never hear from them anymore.
No, MIA. And
busy,
John,
like we said, molding minds and hot dating.
Hot dating. And Joe, John, you've been busy up there with the brewery, Woodkettle.
Yeah, so Woodkettle, that just it's probably I think it's four week anniversary now. Yeah, so it's been really busy. I've been helping brew beer up there certain days of the week, usually just Mondays right now. But next week we're gonna start brewing 2 beers a week. So kind of keep the beer flowing. We ran out of blonde, which is
That's the
everybody's
best kind.
favorite.
Yeah, I
So we have another one fermenting. That'll be ready in a couple weeks. But
Drew, how many times have you been there so far?
good little spot.
4, 5, 6 times. I went up there last night for a blind show. Found out they didn't have any.
Yeah.
There was a guest beer on tap, though.
Yeah,
that was a Pilsner.
Yeah, we have 2 Young Lion
That's exactly
beers. We
what
got
it
double IPA and a Pilsner, and we actually have a release today. We're releasing a steamer,
Yeah.
which will be it's pretty tasty. I tasted it yesterday, kind of like a cream ale with a little bit of hops at the end. So
And you're up there pouring, too, right?
yeah, so I've been bartending a little bit here and there. I've been super busy with just lessons. Kind of get really busy right now, and the Brockport college season where I help out starts Monday.
Sweet. So that's how you're going to spend this baseball season then, with the Brockport Golden Eagles?
Well, we'll see. I'm still hopeful. I'm still training like I'm going to play. I'm a free agent right now. I finished my contract, obviously, with the Pirates. So I've talked to a few teams. It's just been so slow. We're going to talk about baseball today. But there's a ton of major league free agents that haven't signed, and it's kind of a trickle-down effect. So
Interesting. Now, when your contract with the Pirates ended, did you have to give any of your gear back, or that's all yours?
Oh, no, I got tons of gear. And I've told my wife I'm trying to get rid of some of it, so I have to bring you guys some.
There you go. There's plenty of wall space down here. We'll
I
find
got
something.
tons of stuff. So, I have all that stuff. It's actually sitting in a big old cardboard box.
Now, the last time you were on the show, you actually autographed a baseball bat for me. Next month, I'll be going down to North Carolina. That's where it currently sits, as a case is being built for it down in the Justice Wood Shop down there in Chapel Thrill, North Carolina.
Chapel Thrill.
But there'll be another edition down here somewhere in the 259 studio when it comes down to it. But still hopeful then. That's
Absolutely.
good to hear.
Still hopeful. Still, I mean, I've had connections with some teams, and it's always, we're not signing minor league free agents right now. Contact me back in 2-3 weeks. And then I contact them back, and they say the exact same thing. Contact me back in 2-3 weeks.
Keep calling.
It's just, the owners right now and the players, there's a big money gap. Players are trying to sign for, we're talking millions and millions of dollars, sometimes hundreds of millions of dollars. So hopefully in the next month or so, everything starts to go full circle, and I'll have an invite.
Sweet. That'd be awesome if you're somewhere come late February? Spring training?
Late February. Big league camp will start, middle of February, and minor leaguers start going down there last week of February, beginning of March.
It'd be nice if somebody local picked you up, too.
Been in touch with the Twins, so
Nice.
you never know. Any real team would be great just to play. So
Trade in those Bills season tickets for some Red Wings season tickets.
they got to sign their lease.
Yeah,
So it's
they don't
gonna
have a
happen,
stadium.
but-
So, John, we've been following you, but for those who, since your last appearance on the show, so recap what happened in the last season for you?
Yeah, so last season it was a strange year. I got hurt again, shocker. But I probably a week before spring training, I started feeling something in my side. Didn't feel right. Played through it for a while. Ended up, against my wishes, but I wasn't swinging the right way anymore. Got it looked at. I ended up having a grade 3 tear of my internal oblique and a grade 1 of my external. So I rehabbed that. Kind of got healthy. I was healthy for about a week and a half. Felt something again. So I had another strain of my external oblique, and I had a grade 3 tear of my an intercostal muscle, which is another muscle on my left side in your oblique. Just a lot of different complications from a surgery I had a couple of years ago. So rehab that. I went to Morgantown, which is our short season team, and I served as like a player coach while I was rehabbing. Rehab there, got back to Altoona, played the last month and a half there, and we won our championship. So it was kind of a crazy year, but first time I won a championship, so really cool experience.
When he was playing for Morgantown, Sam and I actually took the road trip. We saw him up in Auburn when the Double Days hosted him. You were definitely the oldest man out there.
Oh yeah, it wasn't even close.
I think one of the umpires was younger than you out there.
You're right. That's
But,
probably true.
Yeah, that's so you were a player coach.
Yeah, it was a really neat experience. Coaching really wasn't. I wouldn't say it's totally new to me because I've done it at Brockport the last couple of years. It was just super interesting to see perspectives of kids that were just drafted. Because I was in that same situation, and I remember where my mind was at and what I was thinking, and I'm watching these kids, try to impress and get a good first impression when we just want them to go out and play and trust what they got, and then we can work on things after that.
Yeah.
So it was really fun. I was kind of an avenue for the players to come to, player to coach and player to a manager are a little different. So I think the guys trusted me, and it was a really good time, and I enjoyed it. Good experience.
Now, since you were a coach, was there any thought process or any interest in retaining you as a coach in one of the programs?
I think that the Pirates at some point have talked to me about that, about transitioning to a coach. Obviously, I still think I can play. I believe in the skill set that I have right now. It's about staying healthy. Mm-hmm. So, that's an avenue down the road I'm going to explore, obviously, and whether that's professional, whether that's the collegiate level, we'll see when my career's over.
I was going to say. So, were you on the active roster for the playoff run for the championship with Altoona?
I was on the active roster. I played a couple games in the playoffs, which was kind of neat. I was a guy, first guy off the bench, really. I pinch hit a lot. Mm-hmm. So I got a bunch of big pinch hit at-bats in the regular season. In the playoffs, I didn't really have to pinch hit because we played AL teams both series. But it was still a really, really cool experience. Altoona is such a small community, but sports kind of runs it. It's kind of the center. So, our championship game, this is right when school's starting, so you're not getting as many fans. We had a really good turnout, and it was crazy. It was loud. It was, exciting. Everybody stayed there. After we won, it was kind of, you see in the World Series, everybody's going down, the baselines and giving high fives. We did that. We got to celebrate, obviously, and it was really, really cool.
Is that the first, was it like the full-out locker room celebration, champion bottles and whatnot?
Yeah, so
first time you've ever experienced that?
No, I've been in the playoffs. I've been fortunate. The teams I've been on, we've made the playoffs 6 to 7 years I've been in pro ball.
So they bust that out for just getting into the playoffs.
Yeah, so I'll give you an idea. We had, this year we made the playoffs. Mm-hmm. We won our division. Mm-hmm. We won the first round of playoffs. And we won the championship.
So there were several.
We celebrated every single time. The biggest one is obviously the championship. Yeah, but every other one, probably the playoff, making the playoffs and the championship. Those are the biggest ones.
What kind of gear did you get from the championships?
So we got we got pretty much just a shirt that says we're champions, and then when we won the first round of playoffs, we got that division. What was it? Western Division champions or something like that. But not too much besides that. No. People have joked about that. There's a couple funny
rings
faces.
No rings.
We get a ring. We do get a ring for the championship. We just haven't gotten it. So I apologize. I forgot about that. We'll get that in spring training sometime.
Just wear that out, go to Tops and
I don't know. I'm excited to see what it looks like because I think they do put a diamond in it.
Championship.
So it'll be pretty neat.
How many AA leagues are there? Because I know there's 2 AAA leagues. How many AA leagues are there?
There's 3 AA leagues. So there's the Eastern League, there's the Southern League, and there's the Texas League.
Okay.
So those are the 3. They kind of go all across the country. The Southern League's probably the biggest with travel. I mean, there's teams down in Mississippi, and then you got to go up to Tennessee, all sorts of different places. That's a Jacksonville. There's a lot of places to travel in that league.
And you were rehabbing down in Florida at some point last season for a while.
Yeah, I was. So I played the first 2 weeks of spring training. I was hurt. And then, once I got it checked out, I had an MRI. I had to stay down there for 10 weeks. So I missed basically all of March because I was hurt. That was spring training. And I missed all of April and then a couple weeks in May.
Did you ever cross paths with our good friend Tim Tebow at all?
No. I didn't cross paths with Tim Tebow. I did hear
I know
Tim
he was
Tebow's
playing single A, but...
Yeah, I heard this yesterday. Tim Tebow got an invite to Major League camp.
Yep.
So that's surprising, but good for him. He's working hard.
At 30 years old.
Yeah. Didn't have a great year, but I know he's also brings a lot of fans to the park. So it's an interesting topic. It is. It's an interesting topic.
He's got some power.
He does. He will. That's his strength. If he can put the bat in the ball a little more and be more consistent, which I'm sure they're hoping he is the second year with more at bats, then he'll hit some balls out of the park. It's just that's the hard part about baseball. You got to be consistent.
Maybe throw a couple guys out.
Yeah, maybe. That's right. I haven't played against him. I know a lot of guys in our high A team. They got to play against him last year when he was in St. Lucie. So kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, you're listening to the 259 Show, episode number 55. Comes to you every Saturday morning on our website, the259show.com, Facebook and Twitter with the handle at the 259 Show, and villageradio.net's Saturday nights, Sunday mornings. Still over there on our friends with villageradio.net. We are currently live. Feel free to tweet at us or reach out to us on Facebook. I have the feeds up, and we'll go through those comments as they come in. I'm sure John Strauss and Jeff Diedrich are listening, as they pretty much always do on Sunday mornings.
And Amanda the Little Pooper.
The Little Pooper. There's a comma in there, right? Amanda and the Little Pooper.
Yes.
Amanda the Little Pooper.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just checking here.
Correct.
Some football talk last week was the NFL divisional round of playoffs. We had a couple of great games, so not so great games, but one miracle
One epic game, and we don't want to throw the word epic around too lightly, but this was.
It was great. The last 2 minutes of this game was unbelievable last week.
There were 4 lead changes, I believe, in the last 3 minutes of that game.
We're, of course, talking about the Minnesota game last week.
The Minneapolis Miracle.
Is that what we're calling it?
Yes, I believe that's what it's been dubbed. And as I and many others pointed out on Twitter, probably the craziest finish to a playoff game since the Music City Miracle.
It's a good comparison.
I'd put it. Do you guys watch it live when it happened?
Yeah.
I didn't. I was on the phone when it happened with somebody, my roommate from college, actually in Chapel Hill, and I'm asking him, "Hey, what's going on? Explain it." And he literally said, "I don't know how to explain it. The guy just missed him. He just missed him.
He missed him.
See, when Dix caught the ball, I thought, okay, he's going to go right out of bounds. They'll kick the field goal.
And I was watching it with my in-laws over at Sam's parents' house, and right before the play happened, I said they want 10 to 15 yards. It's going to be on the sideline. They're going to get out of bounds to kick a field goal and win this thing. So here it is. They pass to the sideline. Get out. He's going to get out. He's going to get out. Yeah. No, nothing.
I think even if he had stepped out of bounds, I think they still kick the field goal and win anyway. But I mean,
It's
take what you can
a
get.
crazy play.
I wonder what he saw when he caught the ball. He's probably his body's probably telling him to get out of bounds. Then all of a sudden he just looks and everyone's pointing. Go.
I think they interviewed him afterwards, and he was in shock. He didn't know what to say there. He was so surprised that nobody was there, because that's the one thing you try not to get beat down the field, but the safety's also trying to keep him in bounds so that the clock runs out. It's crazy.
He cuts it upfield, and I'm like, oh, there's no one there. And then I look at the clock after he's celebrating this. I'm like, oh, there's no time left either.
You better score, yeah. What a crazy game. Yes.
It was strange that they not strange because it is a rule, but they had to go back out and line up for the extra point, and this was at least 8 minutes after the actual touchdown.
Yeah. Reason they have to finish the game, right? And I'm sure it comes down to betting. That's why, right?
I read somewhere, though, that the reason they did it is because it's a rule in the regular season because of point differential. They want to make sure they play it out. In the playoffs, point differential doesn't matter for any tiebreakers because there are no tiebreakers.
But in Vegas, it counts.
And they just took a knee anyway. So
which I think it was was it a push then?
It was.
Right? Because they didn't go for the
there's videos of people in Vegas going nuts after they kneel it.
That's awesome.
Credit to the 7 or 8 Saints players who ran back out onto the field just for that. Yeah, Thomas Morstead, the punter, who was playing with I think he tore rib
cartilage in his rib.
Manti, a couple others ran back out there just to,
They were Minnesota Viking fans donated to the Punters Foundation and raised $100,000.
Which is a great new trend, by the way.
It is.
You got Andy Dalton, you got Morstead.
Yeah.
Maybe some others will catch on to that as well.
Sean Payton, Minnesota fans donated a couch to him. Did you see that? And he asked for $25,000 that he's going to donate. It's happening all over the place. It's kind of been it's a nice little trend.
I like that. Can you explain to me? You've been to a game in Minnesota, right?
I have,
in the old stadium,
right?
What's the whole Thor clap thing?
Okay, that's new apparently. I was actually doing some research on this earlier in the week, but the skull clap. Well, the skull clap is they've had that shit forever, but they started this when they moved to their new stadium last year. The skull clap,
and it mimics. I believe it's a European soccer team that does that.
There's
right?
I think I can't remember if it's Iceland.
That's what it is. Iceland's national team does that.
Yeah,
in their stadium.
But there's a lot of Scandinavian, Nordic cultural things.
The Vikings are trying to, relate to that culture, I guess.
When I went, it was their last year in the Metrodome, 2012. I went to a Thursday night game there. That was a loud stadium. I've been to many Bills games. That gets loud at times, but this was, because it's indoors. That was really loud. They lost that game by 3 scores to Tampa Bay, the game I went to.
They got to be the fan favorite with the last 4 teams remaining. If your team's not in it, you're pulling for Minnesota.
I know I am.
Right?
Yeah. They actually the Vikings have a long storied history. It's just the only thing they've never done is win a Super Bowl.
No. They came close.
They've come close many times.
But It would be good for them to see.
I know I'll be cheering for them. My grandpa was a big Vikings fan. Not a big. He wasn't like a diehard Vikings fan, but he made me want to watch them. And anytime the Dolphins are irrelevant, which is most years now, I hop on the Vikings bandwagon. So that's where.
Could you imagine if the Super Bowl, the two quarterbacks facing each other are Blake Bortles and Case Keenum? Who could have predicted that?
TV ratings will go
that bet.
Down. They were down this weekend anyway.
Casey Keenum will get a payday out of all of this.
Oh yeah. They got 3 quarterbacks they got to figure out. I think they're all free agents.
Yeah, I'll take one of them. The Bills could take
over Alex
any of
Smith.
them.
You want
I'd
Bradford
take
over
one, too.
Alex Smith?
Yeah, I'll take
interesting.
Brittle Bradford. I'll take Brittle Bradford any day of the week.
What
But
else was I going to say? Oh, I still say that the Music City Miracle was a more miraculous finish than that one, just because that happened on a kickoff return. The Bills Titans 99.
I would agree, but I would say part of the miracle of this game was the whole last 3 minutes and how you wanted to position yourself.
Was a frantic finish.
Yeah.
I would say that you could see this coming slightly more than you could see the lateral on a kickoff for a touchdown coming.
I think you guys should send a tweet to Frank Wycheck and ask him that question. Which one is more memorable?
Which one is more memorable? That's a good idea. Tyler, get on that. Get on the tweeter.
Speaking of tweeting at NFL players, I was watching the Jaguars Stillers game last Sunday. The Jaguars had a punt blocked, and then who was calling the game? Ian Eagle
Yeah,
went on about how the punter Brad Nortman for Jacksonville had so many punts blocked. I'm wondering, because I see this stat from time to time, they keep track of how many punts a punter has had blocked. I'm like, is that really the punter's fault? So I tweeted at Pat McAfee. I asked him, who's a former NFL punter.
very active on social media.
Yes. I said, so when we hear a stat about how many punts a punter has had blocked, is that really an indictment of the punter, or isn't that more, the blocking on the punt? And he said yes, meaning it's more the blocking. He said, but there can be a little bit of a hang up on the the delivery time of when the punter catches the ball and kicks it. So if there's even a slight hang up in that could lead to more blocks. But I still don't think that punts blocked is too telling of a stat for punters.
I have watched YouTube videos where they're at punting like academies, like a bunch of NFL guys, and they time them trying to get rid of the ball. And I think that's kind of probably what he's referring to.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in your own end zone or something, they got to get rid of the ball fast.
You got to get it out. And I'm sure also it has to do with like trajectory angle and.
You think about it, you think punting is a simple job, but you look, there's a lot of little small details, mechanics that go into it. It's a much more important position than the casual fan realizes.
One last note on the game up in Minnesota. They had Al Michaels on the Dan Patrick Show this past week, and Al Michaels said that stadium in Minnesota is the best stadium he's ever been in. He said the sight lines, just how bright it is, and how immersed they are in like the fan experience.
It's a good city. I really like to get back and check it, because I didn't get to really check out the city the one time I was there, because I got to the game almost late because I forgot my ticket. I had to run back to my hotel, run back to the Mall of America to catch a train. And I just got there right as the game was kicking off, so I didn't get to go around and see the city at all. But it's a really nice city, and we could see a team play in its home stadium in the Super Bowl for the first time ever.
I'd take it.
I visited there in October to see John Grouse, and it's a really cool city.
Even like Target Field looks sweet.
Yeah, it's really big, and you forget that the two cities are so close together.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different things to do, and it's and then you drive. I'm not comparing it to Rochester, but you drive 30 minutes out, and you got a lot of land.
Yeah.
So it's just a cool little dynamic.
People are super friendly. Like,
yes.
I mean, I've been to the South. We know how that is, but you go to Minnesota, they are really like. I just like sat in a random seat at halftime of that Vikings game that I went to, and these guys are like talking to me, welcome. Hey, you can sit here the rest of the game if you want. I'm like, all right.
I'll give you the weirdest example, but I noticed it when I was there. Nobody drives over the speed limit there.
Really?
I'm dead serious. It
awesome.
is the weirdest thing. If it's 60, you might see a couple people driving 61 or 62. That's it. I'm passing everybody going 67. I'm like, what is going on? This is weird.
That's awesome. Tyler, you mentioned a couple minutes ago that Minnesota might play in their home stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Have you looked into it? What if they get the home team advantage?
I don't know.
Can they play their horn?
I don't even know
Can
how they
use
decide.
their locker rooms? Can they?
It would be interesting if they had to go use the visitor locker room because I don't know how it works, but
Because I imagine there's a lot of things.
I think it alternates each year between the AFC and NFC.
I wonder if there's
home
a
team.
underwritten rule though. If the host city's team's in it, that it's a true home game.
I don't know.
for them.
It's like when this is
Because even like sidelines could mess up. Like
slightly related, but like when the Giants and Jets play each other, one of them has to be the away team, so one of them's using the visiting locker room. But that's going to be interesting to see. There have been a couple of teams who have played in the Super Bowl in their home market, but not at their home stadium in the past.
yeah, interesting. We'll see how that unfolds. Hopefully it unfolds next week.
One other thing I want to mention, you see the video, you see Stephon Diggs running in for a touchdown. As soon as he does, they start blasting Prince's Let's Go Crazy, which is like the unofficial touchdown song of the Vikings. Fitting, because Prince is from
Minnesota. Is JT going to play any Prince music for halftime?
Someone, I'm sure they'll have some sort of tribute to Prince.
All right.
Yeah.
But that brings up what we have here on the rundown is best NFL touchdown song.
I mean, that one is fitting in the right moment, and they were going crazy. I mean, as much as I hate to admit it, you got to put the Bills shout song up there.
Yeah, because you could be at a concert and walking out of the concert, you'll hear that. Like anywhere there's a group of people,
Concert, wedding, airport.
Yes, airport,
bathroom, maybe. Even.
bathroom, even. Yeah. But the Bill shout songs up there. I don't know how many more I could name though.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of them, they don't have like the same one over. Well, the Vikings, they have a couple other songs they used to. The Eagles have Fly, Eagles, Fly. So we'll hear one of those in the Super Bowl. The Dolphins used to play Jimmy Buffett's Fins after they scored a touchdown. I enjoyed that one, but I don't know what they do anymore, though.
Those young whippersnappers got rid of Jimmy Buffett for
I mean, they might still play it for all I know.
I feel like there's a lot more hockey songs like that.
Oh, yeah, right. It's definitely a hockey thing.
Every hockey team has, and I think the Minnesota Wild used the Prince song, too, if I'm not mistaken.
That wouldn't surprise me, yeah.
But you're right. It's definitely a hockey goal scoring.
Yeah, like a lot of teams use like that Eye in the Sky song. Sabres have the Somebody
changed it
make some
recently.
noise up in this joint. That song.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called.
Oh, so since we're talking about baseball today, this led me to one other thing. What would your walk-up music be for baseball? Now, John, when John was in high school, can't believe this was 10 years ago already. It was "Start Me Up" by the Rolling
It
Stones.
was Start Me Up, yep.
Did
And he had no say in that either. It was
really?
just assigned to him.
I think you
Maybe
assigned
your
it.
freshman year, maybe?
Was it you who signed it?
Yeah, I just randomly picked
but you were
songs for
batting
people.
second, or
No, I mean, I changed. I hit first for a long time, then I went to third, then I went back to first.
because it makes sense for whoever's batting,
First.
whoever's leading off.
And that's why it's still played to this day.
So
at Schwank.
this was your choice then.
Initially,
you were the
when
music guy.
when we implemented it, I chose everybody's just randomly.
Yeah.
And that's how it worked out. But yeah, Start Me Up still played the top of the first inning.
So-
Schwanky.
Did you get to choose another song going up through college and into?
I used that for
Minors?
a really
Oh, did
long
you?
time.
Really?
Yeah,
Look at that.
I used that all through college, except for my freshman year. You
assigned
didn't
it
have a
for you.
choice. I had Ice Ice Baby. All the freshmen had funny ones.
That's hilarious.
And then I used it my first 2 years in pro ball, and then sorry, Fowler,
It's okay.
I scratched. I went to some different things.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
didn't know it stood with you that long. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What do you got in mind?
Well,
I've got a guess. Can I guess?
Sure.
Yours would be the Power Rangers theme song.
It was when we had our Team Stealth softball team. We played an exhibition game at Schwanke Field in 2008, and I used the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers theme song. I've been kind of leaning toward because I heard my man Trevor Bain at the
TV.
NASCAR race in Bristol. He used this song. It's called "Run Devil Run" by Crowder for his intro at the race in Bristol. And I'm like, oh man, that's the song now. So I think I might change that. Maybe I'd alternate. I don't know.
My past 2 years, I've had a song by for King and Country.
Oh,
Yeah.
which one?
I had "It's Not Over Yet" 2 years
Okay.
ago, and then this year I had a Danny Goki song. called
Oh, which one?
The Comeback.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
that
that's a good one.
Perfect, fitting. For
Yeah.
you, yeah.
So it's I've had a bunch of different things, and when I was in West Virginia in 2013, I had a Taylor Swift song, and I had an Eiffel 65 song. How about that reference? Not the one you think of as a totally different.
They had other songs.
Yeah, they did. That was my first CD I ever got.
That's awesome.
So Drew,
Yes.
now yours would be Big Papa.
So it would be
That was actually Joe's ringtone for a while.
Really?
Coincidentally.
In college?
Yes, he had a number of different...
Nah,
This was during his earring phase?
Ooh.
Might have even been before that.
You'd have some country song.
I don't know. I've never ever thought about what mine would be. I think it would...
I drive your truck.
Is that what it would be?
Think my tractor's sexy.
I don't know if I'd go country. I might go, like, old
Rock?
school. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
like 80s?
Just older. Like, because...
Journey?
Well, you hear what high school kids use now.
it's
I'm
brutal.
sure even in the minors,
Oh, they do.
it's all that
Yeah, there's
nonsense.
stuff going on. I'm like, what is this song?
But,
But that's the way.
I don't know if I go Foreigner. I mean, that's not old school, but
Jukebox Hero.
that's awesome.
It's fitting. It's your hometown.
Hometown?
The legendary rock band.
Are
of your
we talking
your
about
hometown.
Rochester then, or
Yeah.
Gates Chili? So I don't know. I've never really put much thought into it of what my walk-up song would be, though. One more note on football this week: NFL Primetime will return under the hosting duties of Chris Berman and Tom Jackson.
Coming out of retirement, we got
One time only for the couple.
Boomer and
of them.
TJ coming back for 1 week only. But Berman will be back for the Super Bowl, you told me.
Yes.
Also.
Where he'll return with Steve Young.
It's a little bit of a throwback this weekend with Chris Berman and Tom Jackson doing NFL primetime for the conference championship games tomorrow night.
I might tune into that. I like Tom Jackson. I don't know why he's
Together,
only,
yeah.
I don't know why he's only coming back for the one time though.
I don't know why they let go of him, but they've done a lot of cost cutting and other moves in the last couple of years.
Yeah, Berman was on the radio this past week. He was talking. He lives in Hawaii.
Oh,
That's
really?
where he lives. And during the nuclear weapons scare last week, he was recalling what he did in the 15 minutes. And he realized he couldn't do a lot in 15 minutes, so he just sat on his couch.
Yeah.
But,
Chris Berman's shtick really wore on a lot of people the last decade or so, but back in the day, Chris Berman and Tom Jackson, NFL primetime, that's where it was at. And for nostalgia's sake, I might tune in, catch that.
You'll actually watch ESPN, the mothership.
It's not Sports Center, so it's not Sports Center or one of those other stupid talking head shows. So maybe
Real quick, who's going to the Super Bowl?
I'm going to say Vikings Patriots, but I'm hoping for Vikings Jaguars.
How do you say it?
Oh yeah, I say Jaguars, but
All right. I don't
There's-
think that's how you say it.
we
But
should throw a poll
that's
out
how I
there.
also say it.
Jaguars or
Jaguar?
Jaguars
Jaguar?
or Jaguars.
Yeah.
For those over the
Who's going to the
Across
Super Bowl?
the
I
Jack?
got the Patriots, unfortunately. I'm gonna switch it up though. I think the Eagles have a good shot.
Yeah, the underdog.
I think and that's the crazy thing. I think they're. I don't think they necessarily deserve to be underdog. Everybody's looking at Foles, like that's the reason, But they got a good team, so we'll find out. I think it'll be a good game. I think it's gonna be really close.
Yeah, I'm going Pats, Minnesota myself, and I don't know. We'll see how Tom's hands
Count
doing.
the Jags out. I don't know why so many people were convinced that the Steelers were going to win that game last week after the Jaguars went
Beat
in
'em
Pittsburgh
already.
and beat them 30-9 earlier in the year.
Yeah, but the whole Tom Brady hand thing might be.
That's going to be interesting to see. We know he's going to play. We know that, but how effective will he be? But we know better than to underestimate Tom Brady at this point.
Yeah, that's the thing too. The Jaguars know what's going on. Are they going to force him to throw early to see what he's got? Or what if they force him to throw and he's fine?
If any
Yeah.
team can get pressure on him, it's the
It is.
Jaguars or the Vikings.
Yeah.
So
So we'll see how that goes. Shifting sports talk gears real quick. Jeff DeVronica had an article in the DNC last week about high school mascots and where they got their names. Nicknames, yeah.
That was a lengthy article.
It was. I probably could have wrote it.
I think the biggest
But-
takeaway for us, I mean, there's a ton of teams called the Eagles and the Blue Devils
Oh,
and
yeah.
whatnot, but the Hilton Cadets back in the day were known as the Hilton Peaches.
Hilton Peaches.
Not the Hilton Apples. The Hilton Peaches.
The Hilton baseball records go back to the Hilton Peach days.
I think I've seen pictures of the Peach. I'm like, oh, what's that? Was that like a semi-pro team? I'm like, oh no, apparently it was the high school team.
Yeah, Dave Crum, the village historian, he's done a couple classes on the history of the Hilton Peaches.
I think he's got a couple books too. My parents have a few, and they have some
Yeah.
pictures in there of that.
Interesting. And this was before the Peachy family immigrated to Hilton.
Immigrated to
Not
Hilton.
after them.
But yeah, the Hilton Peaches, and there was another one that I don't recall.
They didn't really explain how we got the name Cadets, which still doesn't really make sense to me. Although I like it, it's unique, it's good,
It's definitely unique.
but I don't know why we're called the Cadets. We're not affiliated with the military.
What if it was something after, like, ketchup or the Heinz factory? They were named the Tomatoes. A lot of people don't even realize that. They don't realize that little factory was a plant that Heinz had.
It's still here.
It is.
They should have changed it to the apples. That would have been fitting. But, here we are. It's the Cadets. Everyone knows us.
Yeah, but check that article out on the DNC website. It was a pretty interesting read. I learned a couple things out of it, but I think that must have been fun for him to write.
Yeah.
Just talking to people.
Yeah.
And
you don't have to foil anything. You don't have to...
I know, right?
Was it just about Hilton, or was it about other...
It was about
all the schools.
Everything, pretty much, yeah.
Any unique ones that we would have never thought of?
There was one in there. I can't remember who it was. They had a really strange name.
HFL was going to be something, but they settled on Cougars. Statesman? Was it Statesman?
I don't know. There was some strange one in there that I didn't even know about, but...
I would have guessed, and it was another thing too. I would have guessed Blue Devils was the most popular, but it was actually Eagles.
There's a lot of you got Irondequoit, you got Wayne, you got who was the other one? Kendall.
Ton of them, but I never would have guessed that myself.
East just recently changed to the Eagles.
Really?
Yes, and Orientals, I learned from reading this, is not was not an ethnic slur, but it was a. It was because, there used to be West High School in the city, and they were the Occidentals. So East High School was the Orientals. But West High School is now Wilson, and East High School is now known as the Eagles.
And also the naming rights of Odyssey. Did you catch that one?
No, I didn't.
They were going to be the... there were the snow leopards, now they're the leopards. But they wanted them to be the Greece... not Odyssey, I'm sorry. I'm thinking, Odyssey, Greece.
You got 4 schools of Greece. You've got the Trojans, the Spartans, and the Titans.
They're going to be the Argonauts. That one got voted down. I think that would have been cool.
Yeah, how did they end up with like an animal and everyone else is like Greek mythology?
A lot of people have talked about that. How come that's the issue?
But on the topic of high school sports, last night Hilton girls basketball hosted Albion.
Albion?
When I saw that on Twitter, I thought it was a mistake last night. I looked it up. Albion's high school is the size of like 1.5 graduating classes of Hilton. I think it was like 524.
Class B. And there are
that's a large
classes
crossover.
that are even smaller than that. But Albion, you think about Albion's a bigger town than Hilton probably, but the school district is smaller.
Just very interesting when I saw that. I guess the equivalent would be playing Hilton football playing.
If I'm not mistaken, Albion's plays in Section 6.
I don't know.
Even though it's located in Section 5.
I don't know how that works.
Probably some connection with coaches.
Yeah.
It's a lot of times how it works is the coaches know each other. Hey, come on down. We'll play here, and then next year we'll go to your place.
Yeah, I ran into Jeff Ickes last night. And I'm like, you beat up on Albion? He laughed. And he said, no, they actually hung in there. They only played 6 or 7 players and really...
Final score was 47-20, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so that was last night here in town. But boys basketball, I haven't gone to a game yet this year, but this Tajay Hill.
I think this is the best Hilton boys basketball team we've had in probably 5 years.
And sophomore Tajay Hill's definitely going to put his name in the Hilton Cadet basketball record book in all categories.
As a sophomore, he's in his 3rd year on varsity already. 40 points against Webster Schrader the other night.
That's a lot of points.
This kid's the real deal. We haven't had a lot of... well, it's been 5 years since we've had a good basketball team. But they look like they could make some noise because there's a lot of teams that are right around like 7-6. I think Gates Chile was the 3 seed when I checked the standings the other day.
James Johnson had an article, or maybe it was just a tweet, noting that scoring in Section 5 boys basketball is at an all-time high across the board.
It's a very competitive Class AA this year. A lot of teams are right. I mean, you got Fairport and Rush Henrietta are better than everyone else, but then you've got a lot 3 to 10 are separated by very little, and Hilton's one of those teams.
Yeah,
there's a lot of competition in Class A too. Same thing.
Yeah.
Athena's super good. I think Sutherland's having a good year.
Irondequoit, who I've been covering the last several years now, like running their Twitter account. I've been covering a lot of basketball games. They won state last year, but they're right in the contention in Class A, A1, I should say.
And I was just looking at the Hilton Cadet roster the other day. Pretty sure Coach Prince's coaching staff is composed of all former Section 5 varsity basketball coaches. Esposito, former coach at Gates, another one I believe who used to coach out in Spencerport. So it sounds like he's got a staff this year
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah, it's been a few down years for the Cadets, but they are looking good this year. I'm calling a game in a few weeks. I'm looking forward to that.
over there on VillageRadio.net.
VillageRadio.net, February 7th. I believe they're playing. I can't remember if they're playing that night.
Good tease, Tyler.
But I will know next time. I mean, I could check the schedule right now, but
And one last thing while we're talking high school sports. 10 years ago,
10 years ago.
2008, the Hilton Cadet baseball team.
It's been that long.
Aren't we that old?
Holy
Huh?
cow. That's crazy. We got
2008.
we got our 10th anniversary coming up.
Yeah,
Hopefully someone organizes it.
I know. That's what I
Jeez.
said.
I'm going to have it in my basement.
Well, yeah, over the 10 years ago now, Hilton Cadet
10 years
baseball
ago.
went on a
tear.
tear. What was their final record that year? 25-5.
25
right?
5, yeah. Played 30 games. They don't even play. So how many playoff games do you play? 5? 4 or 5? It'd be
6. You guys said
Fairport,
6.
Gates,
6.
Fairport, Gates, Schrader, Arcadia, Hamburg. Yeah, 6.
Yeah.
Hamburg and Massapequa. So, yeah, they don't even play. I think they only play 20 games now, maybe?
Yeah,
18?
maybe 18 in the regular
It's
season.
crazy.
They haven't been deep into the postseason in a few years
It's been
now.
a while.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the year.
Had a good run going for a while, but still, it's just that one team in 2008 that was able to break through, win sectionals, and then go even farther.
A ton of division titles Hilton's got in
A
baseball.
lot, yeah. That's ours thing, man, is trying to get to the big prize and win it. Because if you have one good pitcher, actually, that's kind of what baseball, I don't know if you guys know, there's pitch counts now. Actually, I'm sure you know, Andy, because you're doing scorekeeping. But it kind of eliminates that in the playoffs. You can't pitch the same guy every single day.
That and the way the schedule's designed now, too. It's a home-and-home schedule.
That's right.
Which I loved last year, being the first year we did it. So we'd host Penfield on Monday and be out in Penfield on Wednesday. Playing back-to-back, and you don't see them again until the postseason if you get lined up with them.
Right.
So
That team that year played about everyone in Monroe County and beat all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, they were the odds-on favorite in the preseason. We were like, oh, this is going to be a great year. And then it was. A lot of times that doesn't happen. A lot of times you'll have a team going in as the odds-on favorite, and then something screwy will happen in the playoffs or something. It almost did, but they made it all the way to the state semifinals.
well, if history serves them correct, not this season, but next season's the year they'll run back at the States. Every 11 years.
Every
I believe
11
it
years.
is.
That's right.
So maybe next year they'll do it for the Cadets. That wraps up our.
Oh, if you want to learn more about that season, you can check it out on YouTube. Shameless plug. How about them apples? It's up there.
Stars all three of us,
Let's
actually.
say,
Great
yeah,
watch. It's a very good watch.
it is.
No place I'd rather be.
You know,
Schwann.
sometime I was last year. One of my students was on YouTube, and they found me. They were talking to me like, "How do you know that I coach Hilton baseball?" And all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so if you've got 44 minutes to spare, I think it is.
That was 44.
46, something like that.
Well worth it.
Give it a watch. It's in 4 parts on YouTube.
Let's dive into this week's power rankings, or not.
It's time for the
There it is.
259 Show's weekly power rankings.
So we mentioned at the top of the program that we pivoted away from the power ranking topic because Mike's not here and it was his choice. So next week's power ranking topic will be his, which he chose last week, which it was
Least favorite TV characters.
least favorite TV characters.
Which is going to be interesting.
I don't know where to start with that. The problem with that is if I don't like
You're like
somebody,
picking from your favorite shows.
yeah, I don't watch the show if I don't like the
Yeah.
character. I don't know, but
So you just got to pick from shows that you watch. Because there's still
Yeah.
someone
There's
that
still- you're right.
annoys you on that show.
you're right. But so this week we pivoted towards favorite baseball players of all time.
Mhm.
You want to go first, John? You want to go? Do you have a list?
I got a list in my head.
All right.
I've been asked this question, but we'll let Tyler go first.
All right.
So just to clarify, we're going to Major League.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine.
Oh,
Yeah,
All
nobody put
mine
me
here-
on there. I haven't been in the big leagues yet.
No offense, John, but everybody on my list is not named John.
That's
Schwartz,
fine. That's
so-
great. As they shouldn't be. I haven't been in the big leagues yet.
This is going to be
Starting
fun.
at 5.
Number
right?
5, and this takes us back to. Let me set this. Let me tell you the backstory here. So Drew and I, this is the year of our Lord 2012. We were going to go on a man trip to
Mancation.
DFW, the Dallas Fort Worth area, to go watch some baseball.
It
and
was
other
so
stuff.
hot. It was such a hot week.
Okay, the night before that game, we went and saw John play in Auburn when he were playing for State College,
Nice.
and then we went to Bass Pro Shops.
He was bullpen catcher that day.
Yeah.
That was the
That was
position
great.
he played.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming to watch. I hope I did well.
then the following morning we took off for Dallas. Stayed at Arlington, right near the stadiums. Saw 2 Rangers games. Both were fun.
Pretty good games.
They were entertaining games. And I heard this guy's walk-up song, and it stuck with me, and I listened to that song a lot. David Murphy, who played for the Rangers, he actually played for the Red Wings a year or two ago for like a hot second, and then he retired. But he's bounced around to a number of different teams, but he was having a really good year. He was one of the leading batters in the AL that year. But his song was "Where I Belong" by Building 429. It's become one of my favorites, so I always think of him when I hear that one. So I put him at number 5. Let me preface this by saying I'm not a huge baseball fan. I've never been a diehard fan of anyone other than like the Hilton Cadets. But I follow it a bit.
That same game. Remember how quick Ron Gardenhire got tossed?
Oh yeah,
the top of the first. I don't think there's any outs yet. Like 5 pitches into the game, he got tossed. Good game.
So we saw Rangers against the who was it? The Orioles the first night, and then it was the Twins the next night. And I'm going to go back to that trip a couple more times in this list. But number 4, I got to go Nyjer Morgan. I'm going a little off the beaten path here. The only reason I throw this out there is because when I was working at the BV, the Bonaventure, the student newspaper at St. Bonaventure University, we used to watch the video of Nyjer Morgan doing his. He had an alias that he would go by in interviews, Tony Plush, and he would just have the most bizarre interviews, but they were so entertaining. I would just play them over and over for everyone to enjoy watching at the BV. Then he had the walk-off hit in the NLDS against who was it? No, that wasn't the Cardinals. It was
This is when he was
Arizona. Yeah, it was when he was with Milwaukee.
Yes, when he was at Bears.
He had the walk-off hit, and he just went nuts.
Ripped his jersey out. Yeah. You want a good watch with Nyjer Morgan? Type in Nyjer Morgan misses catch. He tries to rob a homer, and he misses it, and he thinks the ball goes over the fence off his glove, but it really is just chilling right behind him. He spikes his hat, spikes his glove, and like this guy's just running around the bases, and Nyjer Morgan has no idea where the ball is. It's hysterical. It's a good watch.
I actually saw him play for the Pirates one time. I went to a game in Pittsburgh. I never heard of him. It was like 2009. I'm like, this guy. And then he became a thing. Number 3 on my list, going back to our trip to Texas, I got to go Josh Hamilton. He had such a great story coming back from all his personal demons. Then he had a relapse and whatnot. But he was an incredible player for a few seasons. I believe he won the MVP at least one year. But he was like the number 1 overall draft pick in '99, but then he had all these personal issues. He never made it to the major leagues until like 2007. Played with the Reds. Then he came to Texas, and he just went off for a few seasons with the Rangers. But I always enjoyed watching him play. Number 2, I gotta go. This is mostly for his the other sport that he played. Jeff Samardzija, of course, All-American receiver at Notre Dame. They had some really exciting seasons when he was there. He could have been a first-round draft pick in the NFL, but he was also a terrific pitcher, so he went into Major League Baseball. Probably a good move on his part. A lot more lucrative, can have a much longer career, and he has. He's still playing. He was an all-star a few years back, but he's bounced around to a couple different teams.
So the Giants, I think, right?
Yep. He's played for Chicago for a while, and then was with Oakland for like half a year, and then I think
they made all those huge, big trades.
Yeah, it was right the year he was named a starting pitcher for the All-Star game, and he got traded. So I don't even think he played in the All-Star game. But now he's with the Giants. And then number 1, going back to our Texas trip one more time, because this guy went off when we were there. And this guy is a future Hall of Famer, Adrian Beltre. He's been
around forever. We've talked about that.
We've talked about a couple. He's been around for like 20 years now, but quietly he has had a surefire Hall of Fame career. He just got his 3,000th hit.
Doesn't like his head being touched.
Yes. Those videos are hilarious to watch when Elvis Andrews or anyone really will come and try to touch his head, and he just gives him the stare. He's a character. If you watch some of his other stuff, some of the things he does. 3 home runs in the game that we went to. Just belted them. Yeah. And if when they build a statue of him in outside the ballpark there in Arlington, I think it'll be him down on his knees swinging. But he can do it all. He's been great on offense, defense, 3,000 hits that he just got last year. But I think he'll be a Hall of Famer first or second ballot if you look at his numbers.
I agree.
So I go with him.
He'll be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
100%.
I'll run down through my list real quick because I don't have too many antidotes, and I'm sure John has better
Anecdotes.
stories. Yeah, that too.
Not anecdotes.
No, don't do that. My top 5 favorite baseball players of all time. Many on this list I was too young to remember to watch or remember watching them, but through reading about them in YouTube, I've seen many of their at-bats and whatnot. Number 5, I do remember this guy, the big unit, Randy Johnson. I loved watching him pitch because he's huge.
Killing birds.
Number 4, Ken Griffey Jr. It's fun to watch.
That's a hard
Backwards
one
hat.
not to like.
Every kid who grew up in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of who they emulated. I agree. I used to try
Plus
to do
with-
his stance too.
Yeah, and plus with backyard baseball, I mean, it's one of those
Pablo
things.
Sanchez not on your list?
No, he's not.
Oh.
Number 3, Roberto Clemente. Big with Pittsburgh. Did he have to do like the history lesson of
Yeah,
the teams
actually,
and whatnot?
he's on my list, and I can explain it right now if you want me to. Or I'll wait till I go to my list. Just tell you something
We'll
cool
tease
about
that
it.
there. Number 2, Mr. Padre, Tony Gwynn. I like him more for what he did after he played. Kind of coached, managed, and he did a lot of charity work and whatnot. But
One of the best hitters of all time.
yes, and then obviously number 1 being Cal Ripken Jr. Because he's there and his jersey's there. And
We got a Cal Perseverance poster right behind Drew over here, and we've got a framed jersey on the other side, autographed.
that's-
autographed.
that is
2007 Hall
Of
of
course.
I didn't see that.
He played here in Rochester with the Red Wings. His dad was the manager of the Red Wings back in
His
the
brother
day.
played here too.
Did you go to his Hall of Fame induction?
I did not know.
That's an awesome little.
Yeah, I picked that up
Pizza.
for my dad has so many Ripken memorabilia. We got totes at my mom's house,
It's awesome.
which he gave me, and I want to get some sort of display down here. But my dad has like yo-yos with him and
awesome.
marbles with Cal Ripken on it, and action figures, and like
Wow.
it's just the weirdest things that my dad collected. But
I'm sure your dad saw him play here
oh yeah.
many times.
Yeah, he wanted to take me to. There's some story that I need to find the details out. He had to call my grandmother, but he wanted to take me to when Ripken came. It was Ripken night. This is after he retired here at Frontier Field. Maybe the first year they opened. My dad went. I think Mike went, but I didn't go for some reason. Something came up, so that would have been sweet to be part
I
of.
have an old program that you gave me
Mhm.
of when it was like must have been right before the regular season started when the Red Wings and the
The
Orioles
crossovers?
played in the
Mhm.
exhibition game.
Yeah. So, all right, John.
Alrighty, this is kind of the hard thing about this list is you guys keep saying who's on your list, and I feel like I have cool stories to share about each of them. But I'll go down mine, and some of these guys you probably never heard of. A couple of them you won't. I got to put an honorable mention because he's my good friend. Josh Bell's got to be on there. He's my honorable mention. I think he's going to have a really good career. I can't put him in the list yet because he hasn't played too long.
And if he's listening, feel free to send some
Yeah.
some memorabilia down here.
Absolutely,
to the studio.
I got a lot of stuff from him, so I'll have to give you
Alright.
some stuff. I got a bunch of cards I gave my nieces and nephews when he came up and visited in November. I'm like, hey, can you sign a few cards? I'll give them to my niece or my nephew. And I gave one for Christmas, and my nephew loved it. But I got a few extras, so I'll give you one.
He spent some time up in big league ball last year.
Oh, he's up there the whole year.
The whole season
Yeah, he
was
spent
up.
the whole season. Had like 90 RBIs, I think 26 or 27 homers. He's looking for. He'll have a big year. He's going to be the face of that franchise probably. So
Good.
with all the trades that have
Yeah,
happened.
they just traded
He
their face away.
he was also the talk of many sports programs for that one day when he was on first base and didn't know where the ball was.
Yeah, that's another YouTube. We're talking about YouTube bloopers. That's hysterical.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
His expression was
Yeah,
hilarious.
no idea where the ball
No,
is.
didn't know it was thrown his way.
No clue. That's funny.
Yeah, that's baseball though. So
Absolutely. Honorable mention, I probably have Cal Ripken, obviously. We talked about baseball earlier being, you got to be consistent. He's the definition of it, playing a ton. I haven't met him. I have met his brother before.
and what he's done to the sport after retiring, with the leagues and the camps and
Yeah.
the keeping the youth involved.
Absolutely. His facility down, I think it's in Aberdeen, is amazing. And, he's done a ton for the game, and he continues to, especially for younger players. And the crazy thing is, his record of consecutive games, you can quote this, I don't think it will ever be broken. It won't, because nowadays everybody's so concerned about longevity and
They don't play a full
No, I
full
mean,
slate.
you look in the big leagues. There's only a handful of guys that play every day the entire season. Now think about how many years he did it. I don't even know the number, but it's pretty incredible. So those two be honorable mention. Number 5 is a guy named Tony Womack. He used to be an outfielder, utility guy. Played with a bunch of different teams. A lot of people remember him in 2001. He was with the Diamondbacks. Won the World Series. Just somebody I kind of tried to emulate. Tried to play hard like him. So he's number 5. Number 4 is another guy most people probably never heard of. His name's Ryan Friel. Unfortunately he died a few years ago. But same guy. Played so hard. Probably the definition of how Murphy, Coach Murphy wants guys from Hilton to play. Exactly. So I used to watch him a lot. It's a common question we have when I have my meetings with the Pirate. When I was with the Pirates was, who do you compare yourself to as a player? I'd always write him, just because he had one speed, and you knew what you're going to get from him every time he played. Number 3, my favorite team growing up was the White Sox. So Frank Thomas was my favorite player growing up. A little bit different body types. I don't hit the ball quite as far as him, but just a fun guy to watch.
He's got that funny TV commercial now, too.
He does. He got a lot of funny ones.
Hey, aren't you Frank Thomas?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am Frank Thomas. I had a pretty good baseball career.
And yeah, he was a phenomenal athlete too. And a lot of people, what was cool, White Sox won the World Series, I think it was 2005. He was hurt. He didn't play, but he was on the team, so he did get a World Series ring, which is kind of neat because he was with that team for a long time. 2, similarity with Andy, Roberto Clemente. Just an amazing, humanitarian, and not only that, he was a phenomenal baseball player. If you watch some of his old videos, it's pretty incredible. He had every tool you can imagine. And cool stat, finished with exactly 3,000 hits.
That's really cool.
There's a lot of cool things about him that I didn't know until this past fall. So I got to go to Pittsburgh, for a community service award, and he, obviously is huge to Pittsburgh. There's a man in Pittsburgh who bought a old firehouse, and he made a museum just for Roberto Clemente.
That's sweet.
Nobody knows about it. He doesn't advertise it. You can only call and get tours privately from him. This thing's incredible. I have his card. If you guys ever go there, you should call him. It's one of the most impactful, powerful things I've ever been. He knows the family real well, and he got all these. He has his letters to Branch Rickey. He has trying to get his salary raised. He has different letters. When he was going on his last plane ride to go deliver supplies to Nicaragua, he had told people he thought he was going to die young, and he thought he was going to die in a plane crash. There's just a lot of crazy things, and there's different. He has these plates and these pictures. It's probably the best sports picture I've ever seen. It's him and the clouds behind him. The clouds look like wings, and so he looks. It's like an angel. It's amazing. It's a real picture. It's the only guy who has the prints of it, and got him from his wife in Puerto Rico. It's just an amazing thing. Yeah. And there's a lot of different things in Pittsburgh. The wall is 21 feet high for his number. There's a lot of different crazy things.
He's got a bridge, right?
The Roberto Clemente Bridge right behind the stadium.
It's like one of the iconic bridges of the city.
And it's been 45 years, I think, since he died, and you still, whenever you think of baseball in Pittsburgh, that's probably the first thing you think of.
There's people all over the country that don't even follow baseball, but they know his name. Yeah. And that kind of shows you how impactful he was. And number 1, which I'm surprised neither of you had. You guys know it? Who do you think I'm going to say?
Recently retired?
Yeah.
Jeter?
Oh, of course. Derek Jeter by far. Not even close. Definitely my favorite player. Did everything, the way it was supposed to be done. On the field, off the field. Didn't hear much. He's getting a lot of flack now for, I don't know how much is him. I don't know. And we'll see, in a year or two if his plan's working. But, as a baseball player, he did everything, that a younger player should look up to. So, that's not even close.
Not even close there.
Definitely my favorite player.
Mike would agree with you.
Not a Yankees fan, though. I'm definitely not a Yankees fan.
I'm in the same boat.
Unless the Yankees sign me, so if anybody's listening. I'm a huge Yankees fan.
Mr. Steinbrenner?
And you and Joe got to see one of his last games.
Yeah, we saw him in his last week down at Yankee Stadium. I went down there. It must have been early, maybe the week after Labor Day. got down there to see him. Because that's a bucket list thing. You got to go to Yankee Stadium. You had to see Jeter play. And I wanted to go up to Toronto to see him play, but plans fell through that year to go see that.
I've seen him in spring training, like very close. I never met him. But same thing. Talks to guys, humble, really easy to talk to. I know Cito Culver has gotten really close with him. Maybe the reason why Cito signed with the Miami Marlins, which is pretty cool. I got to meet A-Rod, but never got to meet Jeter. I got a book signed by him.
I was going to say, you've been around for a few years, well, not a few years, but several years now. Who was the probably the coolest player that got to meet in terms of you meet him and you like couldn't believe it? Like you stopped being a baseball player and you were like,
I just met this person. Obviously A-Rod is, the magnitude that he has. That was really interesting. That's a tough one. I got to think about that because there's a decent amount of guys I've met, and you try, when you meet these players, you don't want to turn into that fan mode and, hey, can I get your autograph? Can I? Whatever it is, you're trying to, I've met guys like this before. And really inside, you're thinking, oh my gosh, I watched this guy all the time growing up. I loved, I planned on the day meeting him in dreams, so let me think about it and I'll get back to you.
Now, you mentioned on your last honorable mention was Josh Bell. He was in town a couple weeks ago, or a couple months ago.
Yeah, in November.
And you took him up to Schmegs for your first Schmegs experience.
We did.
And somehow you left us all in the dark about this. That a Major League Baseball player was going to Schmegs.
I got to tell you a hilarious story. Mike Vowles, on that 2008 Hill baseball team. So he comes up to me probably 2 weeks ago, and he, one of the teachers, I think, at his school came up who's a huge Pirates fan. And he comes up to him, and he goes, dude, you'll never guess what I heard. I heard Josh Bell was in Spencerport. And Mike was like, yeah, probably. There's a dude who plays for the Pirates who's in Spencerport. And I'm like, oh, great. That's all right. Nobody needs to know my name, but people know Josh. So it's
some
funny.
Dude.
Yeah, you never guess. Josh Bell.
So what did Josh Bell order at Schmegs?
I don't remember the names of a lot of the things. I do remember this because Josh has a tendency to order way too much food. He ordered a huge meal with like eggs and veggies, and then he thought he wanted a pancake. So he ordered this huge meal and then a pancake on top of it. You should have seen his face when he got it because the pancake is the size of the table. Yeah, and so we ate. He probably ate not even a quarter of the pancake, and we brought it home, and I think my wife ate it later.
So while you were there, did anyone notice that it was him?
Nobody in Schmegs did. When we worked out, he wanted to work out, and so we went to the college, Brockport, where I coach, and he worked out there. He had headphones on, and he had a trainer on the phone that he's trying to do his workouts with. And so I kind of just left him alone. Obviously, the players who were working out that knew who he was. They knew kind of not to. They'd introduce themselves, walk away. A couple of them got pictures, so he could do his thing. But there was a funny incident where one of the assistant strength coaches there, he's a huge Cubs fan, and he walked in, and I was sitting there. I didn't think anything of it, and he kind of double took him, looked at him a couple times, walked out real fast. And so my assistant coach comes in, one of the assistant coaches that I coach with, and he's explaining, hey, this Cubs fan guy just came up to me, and he's like, you'll never guess who's in the weight room. Josh Bell's lifting weights in the weight room. Why is Josh Bell here? So that one was funny. But no, not, besides that, I think he's still so young that people aren't necessarily recognizing him, even though he's a huge guy with dreads. So we'll find out. Probably another year or two that'll change.
Yeah, we can see he'll be the face of the franchise now that Kutchin's gone. And
so, what did you get at Schmegs? And you said you went to Taste of Texas. What, yesterday?
I've been there a couple times, but I went to Taste of Texas yesterday. So at Schmegs, I got the first time. I'm not exactly sure the name. Some egg meal, and then the second time I went there, I got a Waffleopolis, which was delicious. It's just it's basically a McGriddle. But way better, way bigger, and instead of pancakes, it's waffles.
It's waffles
as the sandwich, or as the bread. And then I went to Taste of Texas. I got the Wrangler, and got some pulled pork and some smoked half chicken. But I definitely got extra cornbread and ate it this morning. It was good, delicious.
we're due for a trip back to
I was
Schneider. It's
just
been a
gonna say.
while now. I think it's been 2 months.
I didn't think about this until just now. We're upstairs in the kitchen of the studio, we've got pulled pork in the crock pot.
Oh,
We've got 2 8-pound pork shoulders going on upstairs.
what kind of sauce you going with?
Sweet Baby Ray's.
Oh, I like it.
It's the standard across. It works out pretty well.
I was tempted
That's
to buy Taste of Texas barbecue sauce yesterday.
It's pretty good.
Oh, it's good.
It's good.
Did you get the soup?
I had baked potato soup while
Yeah.
I was waiting because I got it to go, and I go in there and it wasn't ready. She's like, "Feel free to get soup." I'm like, "Yes."
Okay.
I wasn't sure of the etiquette, but I will definitely
Oh.
get
And
soup.
they've got they like in the the condiment section and the silverware. They've got pieces of bread. You
Bread.
can just grab bread. But
Yeah.
they put it in bags now. You can't just it's not
Really?
just like a loose pile of bread.
There's probably some sanitary
Yeah.
conditions or
Yeah.
something.
What else?
That place the best deal in local barbecue.
What else do we got on Food Talk here, Tyler?
So Papa Drew gave me a call Monday.
Mhm.
You had the day off. You said I'm bringing some food over.
Mhm.
Turns out it's white chili. It was good. Amanda demands the recipe.
Well, Amanda's got to bring it up with Sam. Sam was the chef and mastermind.
That was
behind the
good.
white
That was
chili.
yeah.
It was
That
pretty
was
good.
gone quickly.
We made a lot of it, so it's all
Yeah,
gone.
good stuff.
But we made a lot.
White chili is underrated.
I agree.
What else we got this week? Good Day Rochester the other day. We've got our reporter Ashley Dorsbacher, big Pirates fan, by the way, and I think she actually worked in Altoona while you were
Yep,
there.
do remember her.
She went to Boxcar
Mm-hmm.
the other day, which is a fairly new. I think it just opened last year on right over by the public market.
Mm-hmm.
Donuts and fried chicken.
Ooh.
So you got your donuts, you got your fried chicken, and you've got a combination of the two.
Interesting.
The donut chicken sandwich. I got to try a donut, a maple bacon donut. I got offered that. I'm like, ooh, I'm into that. Yeah, so I ate that. That was gone quickly. And then there was also a chicken sandwich, not the donut chicken sandwich, though. I got to split that with my coworker Seth, loyal listener of the program as well.
Did you hear about the new donut that I think it might be in New York City. It has ice cream in it. So instead of jelly,
Oh, I did see that.
it's an ice cream filled donut.
Interesting.
It's a different concept. So you have to. The donut must be cold,
Right? Yeah.
right? You would have to so that the ice cream doesn't melt.
Yeah.
Or maybe they put a hole and you inject the ice
Inject
cream
right
when you get it.
That could be.
That's a unique concept.
It's gonna be messy.
I agree. It tastes good though.
So we're gonna have to go check out Boxcar, or
Yeah.
have Mike do it since he's out that way.
Add it to the
Sort
list of places where you say we're gonna go and never go.
Still have not gone to.
What's the list up to?
We still have not gone to.
Waffle Factory.
Yeah, well, I don't even remember what it's called now.
It's not the Waffle
Oh,
Factory.
it's Funkin' Waffles.
Funkin' Waffles. The Waffle Factory is also a place out in Webster. That was on Good Day Rochester about a month ago.
I got a nice little lunch place you guys may have never been to. Calabricella's.
Oh yeah. Well, I
Really?
haven't. I've had the food there.
That place is good.
Yeah,
Good steak sandwiches.
yeah. That's where we got the magic sauce.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
have a good sauce there.
Yeah. So my dad goes there. I walked in there one time, couldn't figure out what to do because I was in a hurry and I just left. But I've had the food there, and I need to go back.
Good place.
John Strauss asked, what's the best place for calamari? Because Mike talked about that last week. Mike responded to him on Facebook. Mike's not here, so maybe we'll reply to that on the air next week. And then I caught this while I was at Wegmans the other day. Super Bowl Sunday, Monster Wing Bar at Wegmans, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., 15-plus varieties of wings.
Wow.
Last week, did you mention something about the pretzels at
Yes.
Wegmans?
Those are good.
Yes.
Little bites.
Are they?
I saw those.
I mean, I had
Yesterday.
I had the bites that when I went in, they had like a little stand.
Yeah.
You could
I
try
saw a
them. They're
buffalo
tasty.
chicken pretzel.
Yeah, that's what I...
Oh,
I
mentioned last
almost
week.
bought it last night when I was there, but
It's
my
like
wife's
$10.
drooling.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to try the pretzel at some point.
but those pretzel bites look good too.
Yeah, those are
Yeah.
tasty.
Yeah. It was like
Hey.
$7 for the big
The
bucket
bin,
of them.
tote.
But
Yeah.
this Monster Wing Bar is at the Ladder Road. So I don't know. Maybe that's at other stores too, but it's at least at the Ladder store. in
Ladder
Greece. Yeah.
You go and get one of each type.
I don't know.
Is
You
that
know
how you
what?
compile your
I had
dozen?
a wing from Wegmans a couple months ago.
Nothing
I didn't-
special.
Yeah.
No.
But maybe there are. I don't know.
Next week we'll dive into, or maybe 2 weeks, we'll dive into what we're grilling
weeks.
for Super Bowl.
2 weeks from today, we'll be talking Super Bowl food. So think that's it. I want to talk about my new snack, but maybe I'll mention that next week. I actually crossed that off the rundown today. So
All right,
next week we'll talk
that.
about Tyler's new snack.
We'll wrap up the program. John, your big event's coming up next Saturday, week from today, Salmon Creek Country Club. It's the second annual, right? For
second Challenger / Miracle League baseball spring training.
Sweet.
Yeah, so it's on next Saturday, January 27th. It's from 2 to 6. If you want to volunteer, there's different ways to reach. Feel free to. You can reach Facebook or my Twitter that I struggle to use. Don't know my password, but it's logged in on one of my computers, so I can at least get on it.
There you go.
So if you would like to volunteer, please feel free to contact me. Definitely open to anybody.
You got a handful of local high school coaches, and I'm assuming the Brockport coaches staff.
Yeah,
will be
so
there
the
too?
last year we had some volunteers from the Brockport High School. We had some volunteers from GCC, which is great. I think GCC is bringing their some of their baseball and softball teams this year. David Schuth is the owner of Salmon Creek. His wife's the athletic director. There'll be obviously college kids from SUNY Brockport, a lot of different friends. Former Hiltonites.
What I saw on
Coffee.
the media from last year was a huge turnout.
Yeah, we had over 80 participants last year, and we're hoping it's that or more. We're hoping that the weather's good because the weather can kind of change things. It can kind of be last minute, but there'll be food there. Everybody will be able to eat, which is great. Also, if you would like to donate, there is a GoFundMe page. You can find that on either of those social medias I just told you, or you can go to GoFundMe.com. I think it's .com. Is it .org? Should know this.
You know what? I don't even know. I think it's
I'm on
.com.
it. .com.
So you can go GoFundMe.com and then / Challenger Miracle League Baseball Spring Training 2018.
That's a long title.
It's a really long title. I screwed up when I made the link, and I can't change it. I've tried to change it. I can't. And like I said, if you can't, I'm sure Andy has shared it.
We'll share it on our Twitter page too.
Cool. So
And then you're going to be on TV a couple times this week, you said.
yeah, so I did a interview yesterday with Mark Gruba on Channel 8, and I think they're going to have that's a Rochester First piece, and it'll air on Tuesday sometime. And then I also have another precursor to the event, an interview on Wednesday. I'm not sure if that's live. It might be, and that's on News 10. So we're hoping to have a lot of media coverage and raise money so that we can continue having events like this. They have a huge field. Obviously, I mentioned that at the beginning in Webster, but my goal was to raise $1,000. We've already raised $1,500, and we're hoping that we can raise more. It's been the support has been overwhelming, and I'm thankful I'm able to do this, and I have a lot of volunteers that make it happen. So we're hoping that the event turns out great, and definitely I'll send you some pictures so you can share them. Very powerful and very cool event.
It's a good cause, and if anything, it's just advocacy for people to try it out too. People don't know that there's this medium that their kids can play.
Yeah, and I haven't even that's something I haven't even dove into today. What it actually is. So Challenger Baseball is basically an organization that allows anybody with disabilities, doesn't matter their age, to give them a chance to play baseball. It's not really the focus on their, disabilities or what's different about them. It's everybody's the same on these days. They can do whatever that they desire. And if you do get to experience the event, it's pure joy. You can't really explain. I can try to explain it, but it doesn't even compare to what, the faces are like, what they're feeling, what the emotions are. It's a very, very powerful event. Not just obviously for the kids, but for people that are volunteering. So hopefully, we'll have a great turnout and it'll be a successful event.
Yeah, we actually went live when it opened. We had Ashley go there to the new field in Webster, and there were only a couple of kids there, but they were just so excited to have somewhere to play and to talk on TV.
Yeah.
Everything.
So that's Saturday, the 27th. Next Saturday at Salmon Creek Country Club, 2 to 6, right?
It's from 2 to 6 p.m. Yep, the 27th.
Even if you don't want to volunteer, show up and just check it out. Check out what Challenger Baseball is all about, too.
I'm going to let my people at Channel 13 know. Hopefully they can make it out there and cover it on the weekend.
Your people.
They went last year. They did a short story on John's event, and we went back in on Monday. Every Monday they recap, like we look at our social media, like what were the top stories on the web over the weekend, and that was far and away number one. When we got into Monday morning, it was John Schwinn's event, the the Miracle League
That's awesome.
spring training.
Hopefully we
so
can
a lot of people
continue
clicked
that
on
again.
that. So that will hopefully spread the word as well. And hopefully we can do the same thing again this year.
Great.
Absolutely.
Well, good luck with that, John. And we'll be
Thanks, guys.
watching on the local media outlets and on Twitter, on your tweetless Twitter, to see what's going on over there. Thanks for coming in today.
Yes,
helping
thanks for
out.
having me, guys. This is a lot of fun.
I guess you could say pitch hitting for us too.
I know.
But
We'll try to get you on again, even if it's just by the phone. We did that one time.
Yeah. Get you
Probably
by
during
phone.
the season
Yeah,
last year.
Also keep track of where you are and
Yeah, you guys let me know.
see what's going on there. And I'll be
Hopefully the viewers don't, rebel against, hey, you had a guest host, he was terrible.
I'll
Hopefully that doesn't happen.
also be watching the UPS man for all the Josh Bell stuff that show up for down here. But thanks for coming in and helping us out this week, and thanks for continually listening too.
Absolutely.
55
I
episodes
enjoy it,
of comedy.
fellas. You're doing a good job.
So next week, hopefully we'll have the whole cast of crew back. We'll touch on some things we skipped over this week. A lot of TV talk, the new seasons of stuff coming
Yes.
back up. We'll let Tyler's Pet Peeve and Doofus of the Week nominees build for a larger segment next week. And Tyler's favorite snack.
We got some airtime.
Oh, yeah.
I got a couple quick nuggets to throw out here. Literally nuggets.
All right, let's go quick airtime.
This is
Tyler,
according
what
to
do you
Channel 8. That Chick-fil-A
Here we
is set
go.
to. Yeah, it said Chick-fil-A is going to open in April. We know that now.
Mm-hmm.
The Channel 8 report said, Chick-fil-A is set to open in April. Previously said they were hoping to open in the spring, which, as you know, April is in the spring.
got? Yes.
So we're narrowing it down a little bit. We know it's sometime in April.
All right.
The other thing I want to mention, Good Morning America, my favorite show to watch on Saturday and Sunday mornings.
man.
Hometown Trivia, which is right before
I love the hometown trivia.
It was Rochester today.
Was it?
It was the third time I've seen Rochester be the hometown trivia topic in like the last year.
Same questions?
It was similar but a little bit different. They asked one about Susan B. Anthony, then there was one about
Kodak.
it was what Rochester product was named in I think it was a Simon and Garfunkel song, 1972, and it was
Kodachrome
Yeah.
or something like that?
Yep. So that's that.
Thanks, Tyler. Johnny, you have anything you want to throw in here last minute for some airtime?
Not that I can really think of. You already gave me enough airtime today, but I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
I'll throw this pet peeve out there real quick, John.
Let's hear it.
RBI or RBIs?
I say RBIs. And if you talk to a lot of baseball players, they'll call them ribbies.
I've always leaned toward RBI, even if it's multiple, because RBI runs bad in.
Yeah, it should be
RSBI.
It should be RSBI, but nobody says
RSBI.
that because that'd be funny.
I've always thought
We should start that.
just RBI, no matter how many it is. But some people say no, it's RBIs if it's more than one.
I like RSBI. That's what I'm going to start with.
Or people just say you drove in. Yeah, you drove in 100. But no, I don't got much airtime. My wife told me to give her a shout out, so I'll say,
Hey, Lindsay.
"What's up, Linz?"
All right, thanks for coming on. We can catch you up at Wood Kettle Brewery, too.
Yeah, Woodkettle. You'll see me there once in a while.
Yeah,
So
launched release night tonight.
yeah, we got a new steamer coming out tonight. So
Mug Club members get out there tonight. Free beer.
Get a
dinner.
free one.
yet?
I have not tried the pretzel. I've heard good things about it, though.
the food is good there. That is
Still holding out on
the food is tasty.
Drew Fowler's special cheese sauce for the pretzel sauce.
I think they got rid of the beer cheese today. I think we got some different types of mustard.
Oh,
today.
man.
Drew,
They've been
Mike,
changing out the menu, kind of putting different things. I think next week they're thinking about putting meatballs on there, and they're thinking about putting chili. So we'll see how that goes.
Down with some chili.
Awesome. Thanks
Drew,
for that. Yes.
Mike's not here to remind you. What did we learn today?
What did you learn today, Tyler?
What did I learn today? I learned that Josh Bell was at Schmeg's, and no one knew it.
I knew that, later that day. I think you texted me later that day. John, what did you learn today? You learn anything?
I learned that you have a really cool Cal Ripken jersey that
Yeah.
has 2007 Hall of
It's
Fame
got a
on it.
stain right above the end, so I'm assuming it's game worn.
or somebody spilled some coffee on it.
A little mustard
You
stain.
know what it might be? Honestly, it might be a pine tar stain.
Yeah.
Because that
Not
would
bad.
be his back shoulder. And a lot of
It
times
is-
there's jerseys that have pine tar stains on
It
it.
is game worn. I didn't know that's what it was, though. But yeah,
What game was it?
I don't know. But there's a certificate on the back that says
It's game worn.
Game worn. What did I learn today? Mike's not here to let me know. But I learned that John Schwinn used Start Me Up well into his professional career, up until 2 years ago.
Thanks to your assigning it to him.
Yeah, who would have known? It could have been bad. I could have assigned you something really bad.
I had a good one. I didn't tell you. I also 2014. I used to have a couple, and I'd keep starting me up always. I had Black Box. What is that called? Strike It Up. Strike. You know what I'm talking about? Strike It Up. That song.
All right. Thanks again, John, for coming in, and thank you for listening. We'll catch you guys next week here on the 259 show.